Wealth Our Way Wednesdays, 12:30 p.m. 15 minutes of finance. What do you do when you're starting from the mud with less than zero? No plan, no role model, no hero. Take to the streets, bring heat like De Niro, or tune in to Wild, the network, the thorough. If it was me, I'd sit down with a pad and a pen, hit my homie shitty thoughts with a friend. Tank is spitting real knowledge from beginning to end. 15 minutes, Wealth Our Way, let the lesson begin. Yeah, 15 minutes of finance with your man, Big Tank. Let's get it. What's going on, my people? It is your main man, Charles Tank Harris, the founder and chief visionary officer of the financial literacy platform, Wealth Our Way, where you already know our motto is wealth is not only for the wealthy. I welcome each and every one of you to episode 218. Yes, the system is rigged, but that's not why you're broke. So we're going to talk today about understanding our role in our personal dilemmas. And this is one of my favorite subjects, one of my favorite words, even when I'm a hypocrite and I don't adhere to the word, is accountability. I don't think any progress, any success, anything worthwhile comes if we don't first become an accountable person. Because once we realize, one of my favorite authors, rest his soul, Dr. Stephen Covey, wrote a famous world successful book, The 7 Habits of highly effective people, And in his book, he talks about making sure we differentiate between what is in our circle of concern and what is in our circle of control, and making sure that we control and we focus upon what we can control, and we take accountability about the things that are in our control that we don't do our best in. We don't always have the best positive self-talk. And in a lot of instances, we damn ourselves to repeating the same mistakes that we've made over and over again. We don't take accountability to the fact that if we wanted it to change, we have the tools to change it, and we end up in the same spot. Which leads me to another one of my favorite phrases. If you want to stop something bad that's been happening to you, the analogy I use is, if you want to get out of a hole, the first thing you need to do is stop digging. Well, the truth is there's something you need to do first before you even stop digging. And that is to realize that the digging that you have been doing is the problem. That's where accountability comes in. If you don't look down at yourself digging and saying, hey, this hole is getting deeper because of me, then you won't feel as though you have a problem that needs fixing. So I like to start every show with our famous go or no go segment. Today's go or no go topic is actually, can you run it across our wonderful producer of the show? So I don't think that is today's go or no go topic. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going to go with that's not the one. I thought it had something to do with, wasn't this week's go or no go about a wedding? Or is that last week's show? Which one was it? I think this one was about a wedding. And let me see if I can grab, there we go. The go or no go is, I would like to have a nice wedding next summer. I have budgeted that it will cost about 50 grand. I make 145,000 and my future husband makes slightly less than me at 138,000. We are in our late 20s with no kids. I should be able to splurge on me for this once in a lifetime event. My man thinks I'm tripping and wants to do a destination wedding for about 8,000. I have $97,000 already saved in a high interest savings account and have told him that I'll pay for the wedding. You ain't got to do it. Pay for it myself. And he said, nah, don't want you doing that. Our financial future is at stake. And I believe that money would be best served if we used it for something that could make us more money, like investing in a business or some real estate or something. And she's ending this go or no go by asking me to tell him, let her live, let her have her day. So this is an interesting topic, and it hits home for me because my big baby and I, my oldest daughter, Bria, shout out to my big baby who's in Panama right now, always living her best life. She said to me, Daddy, if there's a wedding in the foreseeable future, get your dollars right, because she wants a nice wedding. And she, of course, thinks that you cut my arm and it bleeds money. So she's like, you got it. You'll take care of me, Daddy. I'm sure of it. I'm confident. And I will. She's my firstborn child. She's the only one that's even showing any signs of getting ready to be married, possibly. So, of course, I worked hard. What's the point of working hard? As my man Kanye famously said, what you think I work for? To push a RAV4? I didn't work this hard to ascertain this level of success monetarily and otherwise to not be able to take care of my baby girl. But there will be a budget for this situation. There will be a budget for the wedding. I'm sure I'll have a number that's here. She'll have one that's up here, and we'll find it out. But for this young couple, let's keep it funky a lot. I realized it was brought to my attention that I've got like a streak of no's going on the go or no go. And I was happy to see that on this one, I get to maybe change course, because here's my thought process. You got a young couple, late 20s, no kids. And I'm, from the information I've been given, not a lot of other financial obligations. They are making $283,000 collectively. Whether you guys know it or not, that's a very high household income, and it puts them in the upper 1% of American households. But, 283,000 is very, very rare, even though we probably know a bunch of people making $100,000 if we went to college, graduated. That's pretty much like, it feels like the median income. I think we get jaded thinking that everybody makes that. There's a lot of people, even in our great society of America, living at or below the poverty line. When you average everything out, being over $200,000 and some thousand in your household puts you in the upper 1% of income earners. People think weddings are a waste of time. And then there are other people who think weddings are the most magical day of our lives, and we should, cherish them and, forget that a divorce could occur. But the reality is that we work hard and save money for things like this. Now, what I didn't put in the comments here was that the young lady also, that $97,000 was part of an inheritance. So it was kind of like found money. And the male fiance is right. You can build wealth with that money, but you can build wealth with your income as well. You make a substantial amount of money. You have no other debts. They didn't allude to any student loans or credit card debt. If this is your money, I do believe we talked about financial psychology before, and that's what today's episode is about. We also talked about being on the same page and being equally yoked financially with your mate and having financial, agreements. I think that you should explain, making your argument with your fiance, that you're not financially putting yourself in the backseat, that this is coming out of savings that you inherited. It could have just as easily not been your money. It could have went a different direction. And I'm going to vote that the wedding of your dreams needs to happen. Go for it. And see, I know what the go person look like, because I've always voted no go. So we're going to go for it on this one. I have no problem with this person spending half of their savings that they inherited on the wedding, knowing that there's no financial peril. When you make a lot of money, you play differently. I've had Mercedes S600s, Bentleys. I've had cars that I think are a waste of money because I made so much money that my car budget that I give myself allowed me to afford that car. If you're being driven by a budget, you're always going to go in a more prudent and financially responsible direction. If you say that I get to spend 5% on travel, well, when you fresh out of high school and go get a job making $35,000 or whatever, 5% of your annual income is $1,750. It's an okay vacation, but it ain't a great vacation. I'm going to London for my birthday. The airline tickets alone were $7,000. So 5% of $3,500 wouldn't have got that done. I can afford that vacation. I cannot right now afford to call up Elon Musk and get on his spaceship and go to Mars. I don't have that type of money yet. So we all have a budget that, regardless of how much money we make. So we're going to go with that one. Today's episode is about people telling me all the time that the financial system is rigged, the rich get richer, and there's no way for us to make it. And it's the last part of that statement that gives me pause. Yes, the system is rigged. Yes, the rich get richer. I just had a conversation with someone the other day about financial information and financial intelligence. I'm going to have to do a part 2 of this show because we're going to get to the end and I'm not going to be done. But anyway, financial intelligence, financial part of the show. Financial information. What I found is that if you get information in Money Magazine, in Fortune, in Forbes, in Barron's, in Wall Street Journal, by the time you get that information is no good. It's used. The money that would have been made off of that information, the power brokers at the top of the power chain have already benefited off of it, and you're getting the used leftover parts. But that's been going on since the very beginning of time. And even with that going on, we can still make money. We can invest our money in the S&P 500, in an ETF, an exchange traded fund that focuses on the smaller part of the American stock market, the international markets. And we can put away a set amount of money at a set interval into that portfolio every month, every quarter, every 6 months, and we will watch our wealth grow. So even though we're getting the last of the information and we're further away from the power structure, we can still do certain things, what I call the right things, to build long-term wealth. So if you don't have long-term wealth, if you're 40, 50, 60, and you haven't started saving for retirement, that's not the system being rig's fault. That's your fault. You chose to go see Beyonce, or you chose to go to London instead of putting that money into something that would grow as an asset for you. And that's fine. Let me be the person to give you grace and tell you that was a decision you made. Let's take accountability for it. Let's realize that we're in the place that we're in because of our own choices. And let's put the shovel down. Let's stop digging. And let's figure out now what needs to be done to get out of this hole that we created for ourselves. Let's stop saying it's the man, it's the system, it's America, it's greed. No, it's you. It's me. It's whoever is in your mirror when you stare at it. You're not making choices consistently, day in and day out, that are leading to the results you want. My former sales assistant, back from when I worked at Smith Barney, we're still friends. I saw on her Facebook page, her and her mother were, wishing each other Happy Mother's Day. And her mother share a phrase with each other when her mother was giving her praise and she was praising her mom back. And my former assistant said to her mom, "Plant corn, get corn." Basically saying, "Mom, I'm just like you. We planted your seed, I'm the harvest." Finances, exact same way. Every time you get a raise, you go celebrate that you got a raise, or you buy yourself a new outfit, you get a better car, you're going to be living the same way the rest of your life. Conversely, every time you get a raise, you say, "I successfully was able to live off of the money I made last year. I don't need to have a raise to continue the quality of life I'm already used to. I can do that off of my previous salary. Let me invest my raise." That's a better decision. That's going to yield long-term fruit. So that's our choice. Let's get right into the 3 tips today because I'm running out of time. So tip number 1, if you want to do things, I need you to do a personal assessment of your financial psychology. And we're going to have a part 2 next Wednesday. So I'm not going to go into detail of these because I got to hurry up and end the show. I messed up today. Thing 2, create a personal financial plan. I'm going to give you more detail on that on the part 2 of this show. And then thing 3, structure your finances. And this is the most important part, and we'll talk about this ad nauseum on the next show. Structure your finances so that your plan is easy to follow. If it's going to require work and effort and make you go out of your daily life way to do it, you're not going to do it. So I promise you this is the first show where I've run out of all my time. We're going to come back next Wednesday and finish the same exact show. Until then, remember, wealth is not for the wealthy. Take care.
Thanks for tuning in to the Wild Network. For more great content like this, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page at Wealth Our Way Network. Also, don't forget to follow us on IG and Facebook. Remember, wealth is not only for the wealthy.